All right, Cody, I'm looking forward to what you're sharing with the team today. But if you don't mind, just giving us a quick background, a little bit about who you are and why you got into this space. And yeah, take it over.
Happy to do it, buddy. I'm a big fan of Vigil. Such a good dude, man. You guys have an amazing group and a good guy. It's funny. I fell in love with Michael Vigil. I think it was day. I don't know if it was day. It's probably day two of the Ultimate Agent reality show. Because the truth is, like, he was taking it more serious than the other contestants. Like, the dude wanted to win. Like, I'm like, his competitive spirit is coming out, like he was there to make friends. He was there to, make some money and win a contest. And I'm like, I like this cat. So we've known each other ever since. For those that don't know me, I've been in the insurance business my entire life. My dad got started in the insurance business April of 1990. Actually started out he started out running a debit route, knocking on doors and collected their premiums every month. If you're new to the business and you're like, I don't know what a debit route is, you actually went to their house to collect premiums via cash sometimes every single month. I'm thankful we don't have to sell life insurance that way because I don't know if I would have lasted, man. I'm like, I don't know. It'd be very difficult. But I got started in the business later on in life. I was 19 as an intern at a local insurance office at Mutual of Omaha. During that stint, I remember I had a veteran agent who was like, "Hey, dude, here's a script, here's like a phone book, pretty much. Like, make some calls for me." Dude, it was the worst script I've ever seen. But he was making like 2 or 3 grand a week, and I'm like, dude, if this cat can make six figures doing this, I know I can too. And so I went to a recruiting meeting. There was about 10 of us in the room. The manager said, "All right, everybody stand up." So we stood up. He said, "Now take a look around." He said, "All right, now 9 of you sit down." He left one person standing. He did not leave me standing. And what he said next is really a big reason why we have founded 8% Nation and why we do what we do. Because he said, maybe one of you will make it. And I'm thinking, like, that's not a super positive way to start this endeavor, this career. However, again, like Michael, I'm competitive. And I said, dude, if there's going to be a one, I'm going to be the one. I'm going to succeed. So I go to my dad. I said, hey, I feel like I need a target or a goal. I feel like, I need something to shoot for. I'm a sports guy, basketball, football, baseball, all the things. And he said, you're my son. You'll make six figures your first year. Well, at that point, I'm 20 years old. I'm in college playing basketball, full-time student athlete, practices, games, tournaments, taking 21 credit hours a semester, definitely part-time. And I'm like, dude, I got $8. I've never done sales other than like selling my sisters on getting whatever I wanted as a kid. I've never really done any of this stuff, like make six figures my first year. Like, come on, He's like, no, dude, I believe in you. This will happen. And what's cool about that moment and why I share that is you need people in your life that believe that you can do more than you even believe you can, right? Like that's what I love about V Hill. The dude believes constantly, right? That's what I've seen about like Matthew and others, that I've seen a little bit here and there. Is my dad was helping me raise my belief. Like I believe that if you haven't made six figures yet, you haven't made seven, dude, you're capped entirely by this. It ain't skill, it ain't product knowledge, it ain't even kaboom leads. Even though they're pretty amazing, it is literally this. So he was raising my belief. He was dialing it up. He was increasing it. And so then I go and long story short, I make $117,000 in my first 8 months selling life insurance with Mutual of Omaha. I think I can say this here. I was on a 35% commission level. That was my commission level. I think Vigil could have given me an upgrade or a raise. I should have been in your downline at that point, but I wasn't. Should have been like, "Where's symmetry, bro? Where's symmetry?" And so I fell in love with the business. I sold for years. And again, it was no leads. Like I love leads, I love Kaboom, but I was cold calling and cold door knocking. Like that is how I got started. That's how I learned the business. That's why you see me smile so much, dude, because I would knock on hundreds of doors a day, and you can't knock on doors without smiling. They will never let you in their freaking house. They're like, okay, is he nice? He's not smiling? Is he a terrorist? Like, what's going on here? Like you can't. And so I learned to freaking smile and do all these small things when it comes to business and sales. I sold for years. And then into 2015, almost 9 years ago, I started putting out content to help other insurance agents. I started putting out videos. I was freaking terrible at doing videos. My first video, I was in like this little gray sweater. I was in a chair that was like rickety and made noises and squeaked. I was in a 9 by 9 office. It was like a little prison cell that I had as an office. And I had like a little note card. I had no decorations in the office because I just didn't believe in decorating. I actually have a little bit more now than I used to, I guess. I don't know. I still have a ton. But I had a note card by my phone propped up, and they were on the shelf. And I remember I took like 42 takes to record a freaking video. I was terrified. I was nervous. It was weird that I was nervous talking to myself, but I was kind of nervous talking to myself in a room. And thankfully, like you guys, man, when you first get started in the business, you're scared to scared to invest in your business. You're scared to make dials. You're scared to do the things that you have to do that will help you make money and succeed in life and in business. And fortunately, even though I was terrified, I kept going back to the well. I kept recording videos. Now we've recorded 3,000, I think over 3,300 videos on YouTube, over 10,000 videos online. We have about 350,000 insurance agents that watch our content online every single week. Our largest city for insurance agents that watch our videos across the world out of any city on the planet is actually London. It's not even in the US. And fortunately, there's a couple things that we've done well. One, I will take risks if I believe it will help push the vision. And if it will help people, I'm taking some freaking massive risk. We don't have time to talk about those, but I believe in taking risk. Also, though, as we grow, I've surrounded myself with some amazing people. Like my studio is right in here, and you can write it right on the other side of that computer in the studio is a guy named Dylan who helped produce the reality show. He's been with me for 6.5 years. Freaking amazing dude. Like you cannot do anything big alone. And so fortunately, I don't know why God has blessed us as much as he has, but we've been very blessed. I'm not saying it's been perfect. I've made a ton of mistakes. I've had to grow as a leader. I was a terrible leader, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a little bit about me if you're new to Cody Askins.
Awesome. No, thank you for that background, Cody. Um, so you talked about, that you didn't have leads, so you had to, record the videos, and now you guys use videos as you produce leads for other agents, right? So,
Yep. Yep.
what do you see the most successful agents doing on a weekly basis?
Yeah, I mean the most successful agents, like if you think about it, like or are any leads perfect? No. Are all leads created equal? No. Are there uncompliant options on the marketplace? 1,000%, by the way. Like there was a guy in Vegas. Fortunately, you guys are with a company that actually cares about what you do. But like there was a guy the other day that called me and said, "Hey, I was working these live transfer company out of Vegas, and they told me that when I take the live transfers, don't tell the person your name, don't tell them where you live, don't tell them your national producer number. Oh, and don't give them your license number." I'm like, "What? Like that happened?" He's like, "Yeah," because he bought leads from us for several months. He left, went to do that, and then he came back and said, "Dude, I trust what you do. I know TCPA compliant, FCC one-to-one consent. I know you're following all the rules." And he said, I just can't trust where I get stuff, right? Which is also why Symmetry is also so picky about where you get leads, right? Like I believe we're not yet, but I believe we will actually be we're a Vigil approved lead vendor, but I believe we'll be a Symmetry approved vendor before long. Like I'm being told, hey, the owners are going to reach out to you soon. They haven't yet, but I'm excited about that because I know that we do things the right way, and I think it's important. But when I look at some of the top agents, man, like if you think about it, like actually throw in chat. I'd like to kind of help the engagement a little bit. What is the number one reason? Like if you think about it, what's the number one reason why 92% of insurance agents fail? I need a new pop socket. This one's falling apart. 92% of insurance agents fell in their first 3 years. What's the biggest reason? Because you could like list a lot of reasons. Vigil doesn't train me, and the freaking products suck, or the carriers are tough to deal with, or I don't have enough money, or I don't invest in my business, or whatever, right? There's a lot of laundry list of reasons that you could say, right? Vigil says people to sell to. Who else do you guys got? Should we start placing wagers like the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight the other night, and just see who you got your money on tonight? Okay. He is, let's see if any other guesses before I give away what I think is accurate and what, you guys probably would agree, not consistent. Yeah, they don't consistently see enough people. I'll put the answers together. They don't consistently see enough people every single week. That's it. They just don't. Like if you think about it, there's a lack of consistency and they do not see people every single week. Like I made 100, I made 100 grand at 20. And the only reason I did that is because I ran at least 10 to 15 appointments at minimum every single week, like clockwork, no matter how busy I was, no matter how many basketball games or tournaments or classes or freaking homework or essays or whatever that I had to do. I succeeded not because I was good at selling insurance, not because I had any sales skill, not because I even freaking knew anything about products. It was because I got out and did enough activity to run enough appointments every single week. Okay, cool. So if that's true, the top producers have people to talk to. They have fresh leads coming in every single week. Period. Like if you're like, okay, how do I guarantee that I actually do well and succeed and make 2,500 bucks a week, 5 grand a week, 10 grand a week, whatever number you want to make, right? The cool thing is you get to choose what that number is. You could be like, you know what? I'm making 5 grand a week. I would like to make 10 grand a week. Guess what? Totally possible, but it's entirely based off the amount of people you talk to. Like I talked to a guy yesterday. He said, or I was on what was I on? I was on a Zoom. Oh, it was for my buddy Do Forward. I was on a Zoom with like 180 people the other day, yesterday. And we were talking about, we were talking about why agents fell and like what gets in the way. I totally forgot what story I was even talking about, but either way, I can still remember part of it, I guess. At the end of the day, oh, we were talking about math, the math behind sales. And I said, hey, what have you made this year? Like, what's been your income up until this point this year? Has anybody made 100 grand? And like a few people did. Most had not, by the way, which is crazy, right? Nice thing is probably several people on this call do, which is great. Good for you. One person said, dude, I made 100 grand this year. I'm like, okay, cool. I said, do you want to know how to make 200? They're like, yeah. They're like, what do I do? I'm like, even if you don't get any better? They're like, how many appointments? I'm like, how many appointments did you run? They're like about 10 a week. I'm like, okay, cool. 100 grand, 10 appointments. I'm like, you want to make 200?
Double.
He's like, yeah. I'm like, guess what? He's like, what? I said, dude, C20. If 10 brought you 100, 20 will bring you 200. Like we complicate the crap out of the insurance business. Like we complicate the mess out of it. I don't know why that is, but like most people are like, dude, and I think it's because 92% fail. It's the hardest career on the planet, right? But fortunately, for those that don't know, there's more millionaires in insurance and financial services than any other industry in the world, which means you're in the right opportunity. You're in the right vehicle. I love Symmetry. You're with the right company. Michael Vigil's the freaking man. I love him, right? So you're a part of the Vigil agency. You're or wherever you're at, you're in the right group. Okay, cool. Now, shouldn't it be the toughest? It's tougher than real estate. We have an 8% success rate. Real estate's only got about a 12 to 13% success rate. You have more chances of making money with real estate. However, you have chances of making more money with insurance. If it's going to be the most financially rewarding, shouldn't it be the toughest? Dude, I think it should. Like, I don't think participation trophies will work in business. I just don't. So I think you got to earn it. I think you got to work. I think you got to show up, right? And so if you think about it, the top reps that I work with, they literally see people every single week. They invest in leads every week. They put in the necessary activity and their skill goes up over time. But guess what? They don't try to improve. They don't try to like drastically improve their skill or drastically increase the amount of money they make per sell. They just do a little bit more. However, like it's funny because if I said like, hey, so actually there's several Michaels, but if I was like, hey, Matthew, if I was like, hey, dude, like if you knew that if you invested $1,000 in leads, that you would get back, let's just call it 3 grand. Okay. I know some people are like 2x, 3x, 4x, 8x, freaking Vigil. Sometimes he gets at 12x, right? Who knows, right? However, if you knew every time you put $1,000 into a slot machine, you would get 3 grand back, you would probably do that quite a bit. Fair?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That is what leads are for the insurance industry. However, the difference in the people that do well, it's normally not skill, by the way. You could say it is, and sure, are people better than others? Totally. Vigil was pretty good, but guess what? On the reality show, Ultimate Agent, he was kind of rusty because he had not been in the field in a while, if I'm not mistaken, and he got it back quick. But guess what? He knew he needed leads. He needed to put in the work. And so if you're like, okay, if you knew you would get 3 grand, you would spend 1. Now, Is every $1,000 in like, okay, so let's just say that 75% of the time when you put $1,000 in, you get 3 grand back. Would you still do it knowing that 1 out of every 4 times you spin the wheel, you don't get 3 grand? Would you still do it?
Yep.
Yeah, but agents don't. They don't. They look at the one bad time it doesn't work and they're like, I'm out, bro. I'm out. I'm not doing this. Are you kidding me? Kaboom freaking sucks, bro. Like, okay, here's one example. We had an agent the other day. He said, I bought Kaboom leads 4 weeks in a row. I'm like, okay, what was your experience? He said, I made like 18 grand. I'm like, I think that's good. I'm like, is that good for your standards? He's like, yeah, that's pretty good. I'm like, okay, great. He said, 3 of the weeks I made money. 1 of the weeks I didn't. So dude, I can't find a business where I make a money on every investment 100% of the time. I can't. Even insurance, as amazing and lucrative as it is, it's still going to be times where I deposit money in and I don't get to withdraw money. However, as long as I withdraw money more than I don't, I should keep going back to the well because I'm trying to invest in a business and get paid more. It ain't rocket science. But we like to, and again, you guys, I'm getting excited. I'm getting passionate. You guys are seeing me dial it up. If the intensity gets too much and you guys are like, this guy's a little crazy, I'll dial it back. No worries. However, most people overthink everything. They want to know everything before they do anything. They think they're not good enough. They think they're not worthy of making 6 figures when it's freaking piece of cake in this business, by the way. It just is. Now, is it easy? No. You got to work. However, it's completely possible. But guess what? You don't have to, I don't know if I should say this, but I believe it to be true. You don't have to understand life insurance. You don't have to know everything about Mutual of Omaha or the different carriers that Symmetry represents, right? I know that's one of them, so I'll drop that one, right? I don't know them all, but however, guess what? You don't have to know everything about the sales process, even though we think we do. You don't have to know everything. You don't know the secret, super secret ninja phrases that Vigil uses. You don't. You just have to invest in your business, get outside of your comfort zone, and put in the work. It's a very simple business. Like I actually, and this is me getting a little excited, but like, dude, we've taken 7 companies to 7 figures in the last 7 years. And it's because I take risk. I delegate freaking everything and I put in the work. Like it ain't rocket science. It ain't that hard, but we love to overcomplicate stuff. Like what I look for in sales reps. And Michael, you just cut me off if I'm going too long, or you're like, bro, I ask you this question, you didn't even answer it, right? That'll happen, by the way. I'm like unprescribed ADHD, okay, for sure. However, what I look for in sales reps, I look for someone who is, here's a few things. I look for someone who's reliable. Right? Reliable. They show up when they don't want to show up. Like you get, I'll share it quickly, but if you guys have ever heard the story, when I was 16 years old, I was supposed to go to work at Apple Market grocery store. I didn't want to go. I was throwing up. I go to my dad. I don't want to go to work today. I think I'm going to call in. I'm puking, right? Here's the evidence. I don't want to go to work. I think I'm going to call in. I'm sure we've all been there where I think about calling in, think about phoning it in today, right? And I go to my dad. I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna go to work today. He said, dude, you do whatever you want to do. But you know what I would do. I'm like, gosh, dang it, dude. So guess what? I went to work. I threw up in the bathroom at work at 16 years old. Literally threw up at work at 16 years old. Is that a good example? Dude, I think it is. Now, the world post-COVID, whatever, would society be like, that's not good. Bro, I think it's good because I think you got to show up to win, right? They always say for contests, you must be present to win. Well, guess what? Step 1 of success is showing up. When you don't feel like showing up, you show up. Yesterday, dude, I'll be honest. Yesterday, like, because I like this weekend, Thursday, I did a 5-hour event in Kansas City. Friday, did a 5-hour virtual event. Saturday, I drove 10 hours and spoke in Memphis by myself, 10 hours. Sunday, I served at church and greeted people for 3 hours. You think I want to do that? No, but I promised I would. So I show up and do it, man. Like, you know what I mean? Yesterday, I ended up speaking for about 6 hours total throughout the day. But my day started at 7 a.m. My day didn't end till 8 p.m., 13-hour day. About 6 of those hours was me using my voice. I thought it was going to give out. I was worried. I'm not going to lie. However, I can listen to my feelings, or I can just show up and do what I know I need to do that's going to help people and help our business. Like amateurs listen to their feelings, professionals don't. Amateurs listen to their feelings, they make excuses, they complain. Professionals don't. So number one, reliable. Number two that I look for is someone who is coachable. Like something that drives me nuts is when somebody comes into my business, in my office, like here's my sales floor out there, right? My sales reps will make between 95,000 and like 250 grand this year, right? I've got 9 of them. Okay. And we may get the 9th one over 100. They're going to be close. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they do, right? But it's up to them. It ain't up to me. Coachable though, because I have people that we interview that come into my operation and they're like, hey, Cody, I did car sales for 42 years. You need to change the script. It needs to say this. And I think that you should like change your marketing and you should do this. And I think the product should be worded this way. And I think that the schedule, we should do it this way. And I'm like, dude, why? And I'll ask them like, dude, why are you coming to work for me? They're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, if you were so great, why aren't you still doing car sales? Why aren't you still doing whatever the freak you were doing before? I said, because guess what? I'm not perfect. I got a lot to learn, but dude, we did $614,000 in revenue last month. I don't need to take advice from somebody that made 42 grand, 92 grand selling cars and they didn't do well. I should never take their advice, by the way. I should listen. I should be a cool, respectful, nice human and be polite. I ain't listening to them. I'm just not. I'm definitely not applying their information from their $78,000 worth of experience into my $7 million business. I'm not, it's not going to happen, right? Coachable. Will they show up and do what I say? And I tell them too, like, again, I'm getting excited. I'm trying to dial it back. I can get intense. My bad. However, I tell them, dude, if you will not show up and do what I say all day, this won't work. Now, is that symmetry approved? Definitely not. But that's how I run my operation. Okay. Number two.
It's the same here. It's the same exact way here, Cody.
And it works, man. It does. And it's not because Vigil's a bad dude. Like Vigil's a good dude and he cares a lot, bro. He has a big freaking heart. Like I'm telling you, when it comes to character and freaking heart and wanting to help people, I freaking love this dude. I trust this dude. I'll give this dude passwords to my bank accounts. I don't care. That's how he can have my social security number. He can have all my banking information. Dude, he can spend a week with my wife, whatever. That dude is trustworthy. That dude has character. That dude has ethics, right? I can't say it about everybody I spend time with. That dude has proved it time and time again. Okay. Number two is coachable. Number three is focused. I don't need them trying to do 7 things. I don't need them driving Uber and trying to invest in the stock market and trying to do whatever, man. You know what I need them doing? I need them plugging in and making money. That's what I need. I need them to be focused on helping people and making money, because when they're focused and they're dialed in, they freaking crush it. They crush it. And then the fourth thing, last thing that I look for in sales reps is that they are willing to get uncomfortable. If I say jump because it's worked for me, they're like, I'm kind of sore, but how high? Like I remember going to my first pilot. Like I love planes. I'm fascinated with flying private and private jets and pilots and all this stuff, right? Fascinated by it. I've been researching planes for years. We flew private for the Ultimate Agent reality show from Missouri to Nebraska on a little private jet, 9-seater, CJ2 plus or whatever it was. Super freaking cool. And maybe been bigger than that. Maybe it was a Learjet, but whatever it was awesome. And I was getting my private pilot license a couple years ago. And I go to my first instruction and it's 30 miles an hour winds. It's 30 degrees in Missouri. It's in the winter. And and we're getting in this little bitty Cessna 158 airplane. There's like duct tape on the wing. I'm like, am I going to live? Like, this is kind of scary. I'm in a long sleeve shirt, a hoodie, and a jacket, all 3. And we go up in this plane and we're like, kind of like bouncing around because of the wind in this little freaking plane. And I'm already scared to death. That's my first instruction. And the pilot says, okay, here's what we're going to do. The first lesson we're going to do is called stalls. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. What's a stall, man? What's a stall? He's like, here's what the stall is. He said, we're going to pull the plane up as hard as we can, and it's going to go straight up in the air, and it's going to putter until it eventually just falls over. I'm like, what did you say? Like, bro, it's my first lesson. Are we really gonna do that? He's like, dude, we're gonna get you uncomfortable right off the bat. I'm like, dude, I'm already uncomfortable. I'm in a freaking duct tape plane in 30 degrees, man, like in 30-mile-an-hour winds. I'm uncomfortable. Well, I do that for 3 hours. I was terrified. It sucked, bro. Like I leave, you could see sweat on the outside of my clothes, and I had 3 layers on, and it was 30 degrees. It don't make any sense. I call my wife. I'm like, babe, I do not want to go back. That sucked. That was terrible. I'm terrified. She's like, I thought you taught people to get uncomfortable. She's like, when's your next lesson? I'm like, it's tomorrow. She's like, and are you sure you're not going to go back tomorrow? Like you said you would? I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. Guess what? Dude, I went back. There's going to be days where you don't want to invest in your business because you're low on funds. That's the time you should invest the most, by the way. You just should. I don't care where you invested. That's the time to freaking double down. It ain't the time to, because the more, coming from someone who's I'm going to try to do this without arrogance, okay? Coming from someone who was a millionaire before he was 30, the more you tight squeeze money, the less likely it will flow to you. I'm just telling you, dude. Like the more I squeeze on and I try to hold on with dear life, the less of it comes to Cody Askins. It's true, okay? And when I share those stories, by the way, can I have a couple more minutes or no?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm wise. Okay. So I'm okay on schedule, but I don't want to mess you guys up. Okay. I also want to be vulnerable in the fact that when I say that, like, when I share some of these things, the last 18 months of my career, have been the absolute hardest of my entire life. And I learned a lot. I learned how bad of a freaking leader I was. I learned that I, had a big ego and I thought Cody Askins was really cool. God humbled me a bunch the last 18 months. I had a business partner that I had a business that was felling. It was doing good. And then it started felling with a business partner, a marketing company. It was doing well. And then we started not doing what we said we would do, which doesn't make any freaking sense. That drives me nuts. We started losing 6 figures a month. That wasn't fun. My mom got cancer for the 3rd time. That wasn't fun. My father-in-law got diagnosed with cancer last year for the first time ever, and they think it was prostate cancer. I think it was because of like Agent Orange, and Vietnam War and all that back in the day, right? That wasn't fun for him to go through that. It was hard, so hard on my wife. They're both going through chemo, every month. My finances became a wreck. I had a negative $107,000 in a business bank account last October. Our house flooded had pipes burst 5 different times, and we had to gut half the house because of black mold. Like, dude, I've been through the ringer a lot. Now, are other people's lives been worse in a lot of ways? Totally. I'm not saying feel sorry for Cody Askins. What I'm saying is, I have been through some stuff, but I view those as lessons. I view it as a blessing because I needed to learn. I needed to get better. Because what happens is, I believe God tests people, and He gives you a little bit to see if you deserve a lot. And the way you respond when it's time to invest in your business, when it's time to call leads, when it's time to freaking work, when it's time to take care of your family, when it's time to change the generational curse of all these broke people that lived before you. When those kind of things have happened, it is God saying, let me see if they can handle $500. Let me see if they can handle buying leads. Let me see if they can handle working and doing what they say they're going to do. Let me see if they can handle this and that and this and that, because He is going to determine if we are deserving of more. And guess what? Dude, there were so many times where I didn't want to do stuff. Or these last 18 months, I didn't even want to come to the office anymore. Like I stopped having fun. I started losing passion. Like I got frustrated with my business. Why do I share those things? I share those things because no matter where you're at, you have a bright future. You were created to do something amazing, and you have an opportunity of a lifetime. Please do not let it pass you by. Please do not let it pass you by. I'm telling you, this symmetry thing, this life insurance agent thing, this opportunity you have right now, no matter whether it's been in the business a day or 10 years, I don't even know the audience I'm speaking to today, so I could be way off base. But it is time. The time is now. If you're unsatisfied with where you sit, you are the one that can fix it. But you've got to make a decision that, dude, it's going to start today. It's going to start now. 2025 is going to be different. but I'm going to put in the work now because I want 2025 to be better, way better than 2024. If that's true, then you can't do the same things. Definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I'm gonna get off my soapbox, man, but I love Vigil and I love you guys and I'm pulling for you. Like I really am.
Cody, I appreciate it. And I took a bunch of notes. Julia sent me one that I really appreciated, right? Was and this is, I mean, it just makes a lot of sense, right? Participation trophies don't work in insurance. You actually have to work for it. And I mean, we see that in today's society, right? Like any sports team that your kids play on, every single one of them gets a trophy, whether they came in first place or last place, you know? And that's not what we're about here, right? Like you said, this is the industry that makes the most millionaires in the world, not the United States, in the world, you know? Um, and I love that fourth one about people that you're looking to hire, right? Willing to get uncomfortable because it's not easy. You deal with a lot of high earners because you are in our space, and there's seven-figure earners and six-figure earners. For the six-figure earners, Cody, on average, how many phone calls are they making a week?
Mm. I mean, it's hundreds. We'll start there. You know, it's
Yeah.
hundreds. Here's an example. Like I was on a call with Edward. I think you guys know who Edward Pritchett is. I was on a call last week. I think it was last week with Edward Pritchett and all of his staff
Yep.
because he has me coach him and his staff every quarter on branding and marketing. You know, like yeah, new book, Tax Free Living. That's right. And we talked about, and it's what I love about like an Edward Pritchett, by the way. Here's what's cool, okay, is I will say, you guys are doing it this way. You should, and his staff is on there. So I got to be careful because I don't want to, I don't want to like piss off his team, but I'm like, bro, you're doing it this way. You should do it this way. Trust me, it will work better. You should stop doing this. This isn't going to work. This will work. Whatever it is. I can give you real examples, but whatever it is. You know what he says? He doesn't question me. He could. $55 million agency. Dude's got a lot more money than me. Like, let's be honest. Like, I think I'm cool and I got, no, dude, I'm broke compared to Edward Pritchett. Let's be honest. But guess what? He says, okay, I trust you. Team, we're going to do it this way from now on. He doesn't even blink. He doesn't even blink. You know why? Because time is his most valuable asset. It's not money. You could have, you could have all the money in the world, but if you're not here, it doesn't matter, right? So his most valuable asset is time, and that dude manages his time better than anybody I know. Anybody I know, to your point.
Absolutely right. And then the last thing, Cody, if you don't mind, I know we're a little bit over, guys, but
Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine.
the importance of branding yourself as an individual rather than
Yeah.
as a big insurance carrier.
Yeah. Yeah. People do not choose to do business with companies. They don't, man. They don't. They choose to do business with people. They choose to do business with people. And guess what? There's been a lot of times where I wanted to change the name of my company and me not be the face of it because I'm like that's hard to sell, and I'm the face and I don't know. It's all me. Guess what? People do business with us. We'll have over 600 agents work with us on the Kaboom Leads platform this month. Maybe more than that. Maybe closer to 700. It's growing like crazy. We're about 150 agents a week right now. It's blowing up. It's awesome. It's growing every week and every month, just about since March, right? Super grateful for that. Okay, super grateful for that. God is blessing us because we were in a rough spot, and the Kaboom Leads platform, doing it the right way, has freaking rescued our business. When I bought out a marketing partner, that it just got ran into the ground, right? It did, and we didn't take care of people. However, when you think about people don't even care for the most part, people don't even care what insurance carrier you sell them or what IMO you're even with. It's true. It's true. I mean, Mutual Omaha is a great brand. There's still people that don't remember the Wild Kingdom days or the Mutual Omaha brand and all the change of the lion logo. They don't have a freaking clue what their logo is, man. They don't know. The general population doesn't, right? However, they People buy you because they want people they know, like, and trust. You've heard that forever, right? Like, okay, here's a real example. Edward Pritchett. I don't know if I should be sharing this, but that's okay. It's a symmetry call. I'll share it. Okay. This is a little behind the scenes. This is between us. Right hand up, left hand on the Bible? Okay, good. All right, cool. Or vice versa. I don't know what way it is. Okay. Pritchett, he has his Edward Pritchett Instagram and his Pritchett Agency. There we go. Thank you. And his Pritchett Agency Instagram. And I'm like, which one gets better engagement? They're like, because they're posting. Well, I'll share. I'll wait on that because everybody always asks, dude, which one should I post on, right? And I could talk 4 hours on social. Freaking love social media. We have a social selling challenge and some stuff social related. You can talk to Michael about some of that. He knows about a lot of it. What's cool about I said, which Instagram gets better engagement? Your personal Edward Pritchett or your Pritchett Agency? He's like, oh, my personal one. I'm like, which one do you get more messages on? He's like, probably the personal. Yep. He's like, I'm like Pritchett, which one gets more like likes and comments and views, you know? This is Edward Pritchett, by the way, right? And I'm asking him these questions. He's like, probably this one, probably this one. Guess what? They're barely posting on the Edward Pritchett Instagram. They're putting all the posts on the Pritchett Agency. All the effort's going to the agency page, but all the results are coming from the personal page. I'm like, dude, you guys should at least be posting everything you're posting on the Pritchett Agency to Edward Pritchett personally. I said, because, and I realized it, and they're like, well, we're sharing family photos and personal stuff. I'm like, dude, if I'm connecting with somebody and I'm following someone personally, that's what I want to see. I want to connect with someone on a human level. I could go through a whole bunch of like human to human sales tips. Maybe we'll do another call in the future. If you guys loved this, if you hated it, tell Michael. He'll never have me back. That's okay too, right? However, Pritchett listens and he's applying stuff. And I'm telling him, bro, like, dude, you're getting results here, but you're not feeding it. It's like a business owner. It's okay. It's like the Dallas Cowboys. Dude, my freaking Dallas Cowboys are terrible this year. Dak Prescott's hurt now. It's a wreck, man. Like, I think Vigil's a Cowboys fan too, if I'm not mistaken, right? I don't know. Maybe not.
No,
maybe you are. Maybe you are after this call. I don't know. Okay. However, my Cowboys suck. But guess what? I don't care if the starting running back or the backup running back. If the backup running back is outproducing the starter, what should the Cowboys do?
Switch.
They should feed the freaking backup running back. Guess what? When it comes to leads, you should feed what is making you money. Do I think Kaboom Leads is doing a great job and it's growing every month? We had 52% of the agents return last week to reorder, right? That's super high for a lead vendor, by the way. That is stupid. But if it stops working for them, they should stop giving us money. They just should, because they should feed what is working. So I'm like, Pritchett, bro, when it comes to social, you should feed what is working. It's like an ad, right? When we do Kaboom Leads, we shoot video. We do video ads because video does better than static images all day. Okay. Because if you can sum up a picture, you know, picture's worth 1,000 words. You can sum it up in half a second. Video, you got to watch it. So like our IUL leads, our IUL plus, especially where we verify the cell phone number, our term, right? Some of those different lead types, our veteran life, which Michael's testing right now, has been getting some really good feedback. We do videos as much as we can simply because they've got to watch it. But guess what? We figure that helps agents. So we started feeding the beast even more. And I'm going to start checking out. Now we're all going to go check out Pritchett's Instagram strategy to see if he's listening to little old Cody Askins, you know, because I'm like, dude, this is what's working for you.
And I can tell you that it is, Cody.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, I can tell you that it is because I've noticed that he's made a huge shift in the amount of personal posts that he's made. So so he's taking your advice on that.
I just gave him that like a week or two ago. No joke, like a week or two ago. That was it. Oh, you're right. It's starting to flood. Let's go, man. My God.
I know there was a couple questions. Armando, if you want to go first.
Please.
Yeah, Cody, how much of the straight line system do you use, and would you recommend it for viewers?
Good question. I know it a little. I've read the book. It's been years, to be honest. Jordan Belfort did speak at our conference at 8%. Here's what I think. Do I think it can work? 1,000%. But the truth is, I'm someone that I think if you do enough of one thing, you get really good at it and it works, right? Now, would I say the straight line system works better than I can't even remember what Jeremy Miner calls his system. They all have these unique.
NEPQ.
Yeah, it's got to have a Q in it, but it's like they all have like different names, right? Like they can all work. However, I like the simplicity of Belford's for sure, but I don't know that I'm like, and I like what he, what he does, but I wouldn't have had him at the conference. But I wish he wouldn't have scammed some people, but that's another side note. However, it can 100% work. My ADHD brain is having trouble coming up with an answer, but it can work. Is it like the absolute best thing on the planet? I don't know that it is, but it can absolutely work for sure. For sure, for sure. And some people love it, dude. Some people love it, right? Some people hate it. That's the good news is, dude, some people like me, some people hate me. Like I did a video, I dropped a YouTube interview last week. One of the first comments was like, dude, why don't you do these things sober and lay off the speed, bro? I'm like, I don't even know what speed is, man. Like, I don't know, right? I'm not on drugs.
I know who that interview was with. That was with David.
It was. Yeah, it was. I got a lot of hate on that one because apparently I interrupted him a lot. I mean, I'm better at being interviewed than interviewing others. I know that. Yeah, good question, Armando, buddy. Appreciate you being on. Good to see you.
Anyone else? Was it you, Avi, or Michael? Someone else have a question? No?
I don't see anybody else on there, man. But I mean, I want to thank you, bro, because I know how busy you are, and I've been able to have those personal conversations with you, And so it's been awesome to see your growth and consistency, and it's just like how you said it. We all go through the funks, and I'll admit, even myself, 10 years in, you go through the funk and then you come out and it's an up and down roller coaster. But I think just like how you said earlier with being a part of V-Hill's team, that is key. Not everybody knows, man, but that man drove halfway across the state for my mama's funeral and drove right back home, so
Cool.
we're a part of a good team, caring team. So, and I know that's another reason why you're here too.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you so much, man. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that matters in business. When it comes to relationships, I don't get in business anymore in a big way without like, getting my wife's approval and like, you know what I mean? Like those are a lot of things that just matter in business, like it's cool. Appreciate
Absolutely.
that. Good to see you as well.
Cody, thank you. I appreciate it. As always, I appreciate where our friendship has grown and just the fact that you're able to pour into our team. Yeah, and I would love to get you back. We could dive a little bit more into some other things that might be beneficial. But yeah, guys, thank you, Cody, again, and look forward to talking to you again. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Thank you, guys. Have an amazing day. Love
Thank
you all.
you.
I'm rooting for you, man. I'm rooting for you. Thank you. See you guys.
Thanks, brother.
Kaboom.
Kaboom. Yes, sir. All right. Real quick, guys, I want to share this just because we were talking about leads, right? And I sent this to myself because I had saved it as a note and I wanted to share it from the here on Zoom. So this is the average appointment to dial ratio, and this is why I ask you guys all the time, and I'll share this in GroupMe in WhatsApp, that way you guys have access to it. But you guys ask me all the time, right? And I ask you guys for your activity reports. You guys think maybe it doesn't go anywhere. I really don't care, whatever the case is, but I do. And this is what I do. I break down the numbers. I plug in the numbers from everyone. I know what people's averages are. I know what company averages are. I know what our agency average is. And these are the ratios, right? So on B5 leads, it's going to take 60 to 70 dials to set an appointment. B4 leads, 55 to 65 dials. B3 leads, 45 to 55 dials. B2, 35 to 45. And then B1, and I wrote this based off of my old thinking, right? So I got to go back and change this. So MIB is going to be a B1. MIC is going to be a B2. So I'll change that before I post it in WhatsApp for you guys. But I just wanted you guys to really understand how many dials you have to make to set appointments based on the lead type. And then there's your close ratio, right? So on a MIG lead, you got a 1% close ratio. So if you buy 100 leads, and I tell you guys this all the time, right? You buy 100 leads, that's $50. You might close, you're going to close one policy, right? That's the reality. Same thing with the MIF is 2%, 3% on the MIE, 4% on the MID, 7% on the MIC. And Jama will tell you guys all about the MIC. He loves the MIC leads. And then the MIB leads, which are 18 to 35 days old now, 12% close ratio. And then A leads, it's got a big range, and that's gonna, because that depends on your skill set and how long you stick around. Because here's the reality of this, guys. And I'm gonna get real, right? This is a consistency and a numbers game. Jama can talk to someone today on an MIC lead, and he won't close them. But you know what he did really well on the phone after that first appointment is he built really good rapport. So he set the appointment, and then he has the appointment. On that appointment, he may not close that MIC lead today. Today is November 19th, 2024. But I guarantee you I'm going to get a phone call from Jama in March or April and says, hey, do you remember that couple I was telling you about in Las Lunas? Well, they just decided to move forward with their options. Or I just got an email from them or a text message saying, hey, Jama, it's time for us to move forward. But the reason that works and his metrics move up is because he's consistent in what he does. He stays the course. And then those people that you didn't close, they now become a close, and it increases your close ratio overall. So you're building a pipeline here. You can't build a pipeline if you quit after 90 days or if you're changing your routine every 30 days. You have to stay consistent. I learned that the hard way. And you guys heard Cody talk about that, right? When I went on the Ultimate Agent, Matt, Jama, Julia, you guys were all here. TI, you were here. What was the one thing I was doing? I was not selling, right? I was only growing the agency. That's all I was doing. I was not out in the field. And I go on this selling reality show. Like, talk about a humbling experience, right? The first night I was there, all it was appointment setting. That's all it was. But it took me 10, 15 dials, and then I got back in my groove, right? Like, back in my groove. And I set the most appointments that day. If you don't believe me, go watch the show. You can see how terrible I was to start and then where I ended up. But it's that muscle memory from putting in the reps every single day. If I showed you guys a picture of Jama side by side from when he got here in 2016 to what he looks like right now, you would say he's a different person. Because he was about Matt's size, and now he's Jama size. And I say that jokingly, right? But seriously, like, Jama he was a fit man, but he was not muscular, right? He's been as long as I have known Jama, he has been putting in the reps every single day. And when you guys get a chance to wrap your arms around him and give him a hug around his neck, the guy has 22-inch pythons, probably bigger now. I don't know. They're massive though. But that's because he's consistent. He shows up. He doesn't complain about the process. And you guys know me. I'm a very transparent person. I will say it just like it is. Right? This is a consistency business. You have to build the momentum. Once you have momentum on your side, don't let it go. It's like that flywheel on the car. Those of you guys that know how a flywheel works on a car, it takes time. It takes time for it to rev up, right? But once you got that momentum, that car is moving, right? So it works the same way here. So make sure that you guys are feeding fuel to your vehicle to get it running properly. Any questions, comments, concerns? All right, I'm going to get this video uploaded ASAP, and that way it's available for replay. And in the comments of that video, I'll link the Ultimate Agent as well for those of you guys that want some clean, wholesome entertainment to watch down the road. So appreciate all of you guys taking the time today to hop on. sfgsmileanddial.com. Password is dialing. That's where we'll be dialing today. Peace.